Hello everybody, my name's Jade and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you my comic book readathon wrap up. So I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is I read everything that I set out to read for my TBR for the readathon. The bad news is that didn't go exactly as expected. I read 6 things during the readathon. And what happened was I read one of them the day before when I was at work because I couldn't bring it home with me. And then the other ones, it's just, I read them the day after because I didn't have enough time to read everything. Just because I had to work, I ended up seeing a movie, and I wish I had stayed home and read instead because I didn't like the movie very much. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys 6 things today that I read. And if you don't see any others that are on my TBR, just assume that I did read them. It's just I didn't read them during the readathon. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the first thing that I ended up reading for the readathon was Deafo by Cece. And out of everything that I read for the readathon, this one was most definitely my favorite and it impressed me the most out of all the others. Whereas I originally thought it was going to be a story about someone losing their hearing and it turns into sort of a superpower, it was more like an autobiographical story of someone losing their hearing later on in life as a result of an illness, and how they come to deal with their peer groups and their family members and teachers and things like that now that they can't hear as well anymore. And it dealt with so many different types of relationships that I was kind of shocked, and it left me heartbroken at the end thinking like how people can not only be so considerate but they can also be so cruel, and it's really accessible. I feel like anyone at any age could read this if they want to know more information about what it's like to be deaf or become deaf later on in life rather than being born with it. I thought it was excellent, and I really think more people need to pick this up for sure, so I'm really glad I picked this up for the readathon. So the next 2 that I ended up reading was a little bit of a surprise because I didn't expect to pick up both volumes 1 and 2 of this particular series. And I ended up reading Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, and oh my goodness, the disappointment is too real. There was so much wrong with these first 2 volumes that if I were to recommend something for someone who's trying to get into the Marvel Universe, I wouldn't be able to give this to them. I still really only know that this series is about a preteen genius and a time-traveling dinosaur that get into shenanigans, and that the preteen genius is afraid of turning into a mutant, and that's why both of their stories intertwine. That's how they come to meet each other. But then the villains are really stupid. They had a different version of the Hulk that I'm just like, I'm not really into this. It's just a personal preference. I didn't enjoy it. And once the main character, Lunella, starts getting her superpowers, it went downhill fast, and the only thing that saved it at that point was the art. The second volume was just an absolute hot mess, and everything that was going on was super rushed and just didn't make sense. So I'm just like, no, I just don't want to read any more of this. It's not developed enough, so unfortunately that didn't go too well, but at least I read them, know what everyone's talking about. So the last 3 things that I ended up picking up for the readathon were volumes 4, 5, and 6 of the Amulet series, and this didn't go so well either. I love the first 3 volumes. The third was most definitely my favorite. It was just outstanding. But I found with volumes 4, 5, and 6 that things are starting to get a little bit messier, and I'm noticing more things that aren't being fixed over time that's just I'm wishing they would fix. So for example, I feel like Emily is a very static character at this point, like she almost has no emotions. It doesn't seem like her reactions are normal compared to when she first came into the universe. And I'm thinking it's because of the amulet and it's changing her personality the longer she's a Stonekeeper. But at the same time, it feels like that shouldn't be happening because she's trying to defy the amulet. And I don't really understand why she's been so static throughout the last couple of volumes. So, whatever. And the second thing is that it's kind of throwing in things with the amulet that, like, they make sense, but they're not getting enough development and explanation for them to totally make sense. But, yeah, hopefully the 7th volume is great, but otherwise the 4, 5, and 6 were pretty meh for me, so I'm just hoping that it picks up. Okay, so those are all the things that I read for the comic book readathon. If you guys ended up participating in the readathon, if you read any similar things, if you have any suggestions for me, what you think I should read, please let me know down in the comments below. I would love to hear from all of you. That would be so excellent. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!